Hello, good morning. We've got 5 minutes to go here before kick-off. It is now 9:56, so 4 minutes before the pool, in theory. So this senior activity before you is, the pregnant pause, so to speak. Everyone looking ready. I mean, we'll see how we are in a minute. It's just slightly squaring up, isn't it?
Streaming through your eyes. I reckon that technology could exist within our lifetime. Terrifying, but it's true. I could have done something like that.
Oh gosh.
I was just trying to back. Yeah. And it didn't mean to hit you. I could be that.
Yeah, we'll be ready.
If it beeps, she's gonna die.
Okay, there we are. Should be nice and even now.
Exactly.
But it's not like imminent. Imminent death.
Imminent.
So Brown 1 there preparing with their huddle. So Deep Dish Discs is their first match of the day. It's the 5-12 crossover. Brown 2 faced Deep Dish Discs yesterday and had a close match. I don't actually remember the final score.
It was like 2 points. It might be 9-7 or 8-6.
Yeah, I agree. So I think there was only a couple of points apart. I think Brown 2 came away feeling that it was a good game and they played reasonably well, but also could probably have managed to secure a victory from that one. So not expecting it to be a major obstacle for Brown 1, but obviously they've got to turn up and do the thing. First match of the day, exactly. I assume they're over there, are they? Deep Dish Discs. I assume that's them. Yeah, just been warming up with some throwing so far, so hopefully they'll be able to bring the energy onto the field. So our full squad today, as yesterday, no injuries. We've got Josh, Megan, Oti, Zoe, Dan Renhard, Fernley Everson, Vic Cook, Dan Pritchard, Luke Wood, Sam Dowell and Sam Bruce. Starting up with some sprints there. Obviously, Josh and Megan turned up warm. Not sprinting?
I was sprinting. I'm just getting
Across the field throwing, we've got Louis and April, who are playing for the seconds this weekend. So, expecting the buzzer to go in something like 30 seconds.
Minute and a half ahead of me. 9:58 according to
Oh, have you? It'll be my watch then, hang on. Yeah, okay. Correct that down. Do you have a seconds time there? Alright, you.
Alright.
It's really annoying to set it. I've got to go all the way around the hours as well. So, let me know when it's 9:59, would you? It's already 9:59, alright, thank you, that's fine.
It's Sunday
There we go.
morning and we're live from Reagan.
Alright, so 30 seconds to the buzzer then. Flip for possession first. Only a single disc flip, but okay. That's not enough. So first point is a men's point, and Brown are going to start on defence. First time I've seen someone turn up to a disc flip with 2 discs and choose to only use one of them. Why is it only showing? For some reason it's not filling the whole screen, but hopefully you can see clearly. Hopefully you've got a clear picture. And the hoot is gone, so this point will start imminently. Brown already putting 5 players towards the end zone, but there's empty space currently over on this side. I think there's a change of kit maybe going on for deep dish discs. Cool 10.
I get 2 minutes.
2 minutes. So the buzzer went. This is the game, but we're yet to start off for the simple reason that we're yet to have a deep dish discs line over here. They are at the venue. Oh, they're over there. Here we are. Right. So starting off the second day of CXIQ 2025 for Brown 1 is Fernley Everson, Dan Pritchard pulling OT, Luke Wood and Megan. And good pull there, brings it into their end zone. They start with a short throw up the line. Hammer goes immediately to the end zone looking for Nick Byrne, but it's too long. Fernley didn't look too concerned by that, but who knows, if it was on, then maybe it would have been a bit closer if the disc had been in the field. Fernley picks up at the back, gives it straight to Meg. Fernley running the weave pattern up the line, but unfortunately the disc was always going out. Fernley takes a slight spill on the side there. You can see that although there's a good 2.5 meters between the sideline and the concrete, that concrete is very slippy. Anyway, so Brown going straight into a weave. Fernley with a bit of a feint on the weave, sort of moment's pause, and makes disc to him just a little bit too far ahead and went out the side of the pitch. So turned over right at the front of the end zone. Fernley doing well to mark off that line option that Nick Byrne was obviously interested in. They swing it over to the far side on the backhand side of the field. Pritchard with a flat forces that to go across, but can't prevent the option going out on the flick up the line. So Brown concede the first point, but it's a hold. They started on D. So Brown will just be looking to knit together that good weave connection that they had going on yesterday, moving the handlers around and lots of passes at the back of the field, which didn't work out for them at this point with their only brief stint in possession. And the pull goes up. Sam Dow receives in the end zone. Vic Cook's free. He gives it. She's at the front of the end zone, very much centre of the field. Sam Dow runs the weave shape, followed by Sam Bruce up the line. But that throw is just asking a bit much of Sam Bruce. Again, not connecting together with that weave so far. And it's only point number 2. But Brown will definitely need to make sure that is a bit more watertight to carry on. Scuba to the end zone, and that is just a height difference, I'm afraid. Wasn't the world's most beautiful throw, but it was coming from high to low, which means it was always going to be a challenge for our own defence to get in there and disrupt it with the height mismatch. So 2-0 to Deep Dish Discs is how it starts. It's a woman's point. On our line we have Fernley Everson, Vic Cook, Luke Wood, Meg Pickles and OT. Fernley receives a short pull. Had a very enthusiastic, should we say, defensive player coming close to him, and as Fernley was catching it at the run, using the allowed stopping paces to bring the disc forward, there was a collision, but play carries on. He sets to Luke to Meg, and Meg considers that little shot to the end zone up the line, but instead resets to Luke, but little bit of nervous hands again this morning, and Luke Wood fumbles the disc. So turnover there, Nick Byrne picks up, looks up the field, instead squares it to number 19, who looks straight up the line to Nick Byrne, who's managed to get separation over Fernley and catches for the goal. I think, Brown need to pick up. They're being beaten at their own game a little bit there. Last point, high take, not so much their own game, but that sort of stuff, quick run up the line, that's what Brown should do. That's what they have been doing yesterday. The key problem so far, I think, has just been that Brown have not held the disc. They've just had unforced turnovers, several of them, with possession. So they just need to calm those nerves, get in and do it as Nick Byrne prepares to pull to a line of Zoe Davis, Sam Bruce, KK, Dan Pritchard, who receives the pull, and Josh Clark. Pritchard receives, squares it to Sam Bruce. Sam Bruce across the field to Josh Clark, and then goes up the line for that run. Brown trying to run this weave, a little bit more successful this time, up the line to, there we are, to Dan Pritchard, who gives it straight up as a line cut back to Sam Bruce, and Brown there, using only their three handlers, convert with low passes into a goal. Now that's what they were doing yesterday, that's the offense that they like to run. Didn't work out for them in the first 3 points, but Brown now getting on the score sheet, 3-1. KK to pull, joined by Fernley Everson, Megan Pickles, Ola Tenney and Sam Dowell. Ooh, a pull just a little bit long from KK, had a nice shape to it, but didn't quite manage to clip the back of that 2-metre box above the end zone, and is going to start with a brick.
You're going to be ISO.
So,
you're in the ISO, Sam, let's go. Big work, yeah? Big work.
Starting with essentially at the centre of a 2-on-2. Oh, was he in the field? Oh, there's a foul called as well. Both Sam Dowell and Nick Byrne went up for that. It was essentially just an ISO play straight to the end zone from the brick line, the high disc going. There was some interaction, it seemed, there, and then it came down, and Nick Byrne was able to mop up. But the call from Sam Dowell is a foul. Also, it didn't look certain whether it was, to me, from here, it didn't look certain that he caught it before being out the back of the end zone. Nonetheless. What's the resolution? We're waiting. Okay, although Sam gave something like the retracted call, I think he means it's contested because the disc is going back. So, not perfect hand signals there, but nonetheless it goes back to that brick mark for first throw of the point effectively, and it does go to Nick Byrne, but this time short and under. Sam putting on a big force. Nick Byrne looks to reset, considers a long thing, but then in the end resets straight behind him. Ola Tenney getting an interception on a slightly loose under disc there that was supposed to be just on the outside for that undercut, but Ola Tenney was able to get in there. It was just behind the receiver, and OT able to turn it over. So Fernley gets the disc, gives it back to KK. Oh, there's a pick called, I'm afraid. So KK's bursting run up the line obviously brought the defender into range of someone who delayed it. The decision seems to be that it didn't prevent it didn't prevent the defender getting a bid on that or getting a touch. So it goes back to KK. KK squares it to Megan Pickles. Megan resets to Fernley near the brick mark. Fernley back to Megan, putting us back in front of their end zone. She considers the overhead, but in the end resets to KK. KK with a throw out to Megan. Sam was behind backing up as well, but it was the right decision from Megan to bring it down. Megan to KK. OT is still on this end zone as well, looking to provide a safe option, but in the end it goes to Fernley on the far side. Fernley Has a look. In the end, little blade reset to KK. KK with the high hammer looking for Sam Dowell, but Sam Dowell's marked by someone who's significantly taller, and those need to be really tight throws in order to come off in that situation. This one was not, so it's a turnover. If you're just joining us, the score is Deep Dish Discs 3, Brown 1.
Yeah, nice like Sam.
Bit of a lucky break for Brown there with an unforced error. And Brown pick up about a third of the way up the field near the end zone. Oh, it's a low disc. See, Sam doesn't lay out, and he's quick, but that was one of the few situations where laying out was pretty unreplaceable, irreplaceable as a way of getting to that disc. It wasn't good disc. It was very, very low, skimming along, and Sam not able to pick it up. Deep dish disc start with a pass up the line to Nick Byrne. Nick Byrne pivots, fakes, and then gives the up the line throw that didn't have enough pace in it to beat Megan and Ola Tenney, but when it came to it, they weren't there and the receiver was. So back corner received for a goal, and the Brown 4-1 down. This doesn't look much to me like the Brown we saw yesterday, Brown first team we saw yesterday, where they were able to string together, many passes without simple turns. Today has just been, they've not done that so far. They've been very loose with the disc. Zoe, Brucey, Luke, Pritchard and Vic line up to take this, with Sam Bruce receiving. Across to Zoe. Bruce up the line, good separation there and gains good yards straight away. Luke wants it, but in the end, straight up the line to Dan Pritchard. I think it's a strip call. It certainly looked like a strip from here, and it's not contested, so it is a goal. Brown's second goal makes it 4-2.
There you go, Brown.
It was a good layout effort from Nick Byrne. Dan was just able to clasp his hands around it before he got there, so quite rightly, when it was knocked to ground, the strip was uncontested. So Brown will be looking to glue together some more of those passes, with that one going quite directly for the end zone. Only 3 or 4 passes in that possession, converting. Megan Pickles pulls the Brown. She's joined by OT, Josh Clark, KK and Zoe Davis. Received in the end zone and given straight to Nick Byrne, who gives it long, but his shot to the end zone only finds the waiting hands of Megan Pickles, who had it well covered. Bit of hesitation, but in the end it's KK who picks up the disc. KK looks long, flat and fast to Zoe Davis, who is free. So they were Brown set up in an ISO shape, which they've been running with the weave mostly so far, with Josh Clark in the middle. Deep dish disc decided that ISO position, that Josh Clark in the middle, was the bigger threat, and so they had a big poach on him with one person covering the end zone. Brown had 2 in the end zone, of course, and by splitting it wide, they were able to get enough separation for KK to throw quite correctly a fast, flat disc, which found Zoe Davis before the defence could react. Which means Brown are now back within spitting distance of deep dish discs here, 4-3. Dan Pritchard's going to pull, joined by Vic Cook, Luke Wood, Sam Bruce and Fernley Everson for this men's point. But the pull is too long, so it's going to start with a break. Immediate ISO play, gets it in the middle to Nick Byrne. Nick Byrne high there, and it's a very well leaped to long legs. Appeared from here to get it in. I think Sam Bruce possibly on the field called that she wasn't sure whether that should have been a goal, but it seems the consensus is he managed to jump, time it correctly and toe the line correctly for that to be a goal. He's done well, to be honest, because he was 4 or 5 feet out of the end zone when he took off, and not with much forward momentum. Yeah, good jump, long legs, good awareness. Deep dish discs 5, Newcastle Brown 1-3 for this second men's point. Those men being Dan Pritchard, Luke Wood and Dan Renhard, joined by Ola Tenney and Megan Pickles on the line. Nick Byrne with a high, slow pull. It's a good pull right to the back. It's a very good pull. And Dan Pritchard receives centre back, gives it to Renhard, who pops it back straight away. That 1-2 gaining on ground. Another 1-2 via Megan Pickles sees Dan Pritchard 2/3 of the way up the field and looking aggressive. He gives a inverted release backhand to Ola Tenney, but it just wasn't on. Flat backhand had more chance, but it was still quite tightly marked. They managed a little IO cross pitch flick there, and Nick Byrne receives, and the receiver there with that 7 cut, always difficult to mark out completely because the up the line was indeed a big threat. But indeed he managed to get separation from Dan Renhard, marking him, and put it away for 6-3, and Deep Dish Discs put away 2 quick points to give the Brown back their deficit that they had earlier. I think this is a frustrating one as a Brown player. We've seen them play better than this, this was not a game they anticipated having serious trouble with, they've not been clinical, and so they find themselves 3 points down, roughly halfway through the game. These are 30-minute matches today, with something like a 10-minute extra. Because these cannot be draws, they're crossovers. KK receives the pull and gives it to Vic Cook. Josh Clark makes the undercut here and would be a safe option, but instead it goes across to Sam Bruce, also in a good position. Bruce gives it up the line, I think possibly, not sure, looking for Vic or Zoe, but found Zoe, and Zoe, very nice cut and able to give a pop to a well-timed continuation cut from Josh Clark, and Brown put away their 4th point, 10-4. A little bit better there from Brown. Those shapes still looking a little ragged around the edges. Lots of options happening at the same time, but they're able to put it away this time. I think just compared with yesterday when everything was so tight and formulaic at times. But what works. Pickles with a nice pull. And Brown managed to get a defence on quickly to prevent an easy first throw, but the first throw does go anyway to the middle and then pop to Nick Byrne. Nick Byrne surely going to look for some options overhead. He is, but there was a call. Yeah. KK's boot fell apart during that point, and he stopped running as a result. He did certainly put his hands up and wave before that, but. Yeah, that's an unfortunate one. No one wants the play to stop because of an equipment issue. But I think Deep Dish Discs, whatever the rules may be, are being quite fair with saying that KK did stop because his footwear fell apart. He does, I'm told, have some backup boots, but so play resumes. Nick Byrne this time's reset square. That high around. It's great run through deep on Luke Wood, who's right on Nick Byrne's shoulder, not giving it to him easy, but then was just a bit too impatient in looking for Meg Pickles, who, he telegraphed it that he really wanted it, and the backup marker came through to get it. And this time it's Luke versus Nick Byrne again. And Luke was right there, but I think he lost sight of the disc. He wasn't sure. There's a lot of chaos, and it looked for a moment like Nick Byrne was going to be able to pick it up low to the ground, but it just escaped his fingers. So a little bit of a let-off there for the Brown, and they start with Dan Pritchard on the disc at the front of their own end zone. Pritchard with a little IO backhand, but the next throw from Sam Bruce was not right, and the floaty disc to the back of the end zone is not going to get anywhere. Both teams a little bit frantic now in this point. We saw the weave starting up nicely, although it did take 2 or 3 seconds for it to happen. But then the throw from Sam Bruce was looking for something that was very well covered, with Nick Byrne poaching in that space, and we're going to see that poach again here with Luke Wood going up to receive, but Nick Byrne again there able to mop it up. Nick Byrne's poaching, but right in the centre of the field. Really, he's starting a good 20 yards from that receiving point. So what's needed is a faster disc to that location in order to stop him being able to get there. But that long, slow disc there gave him plenty of time to be waiting for it underneath and make sure that Luke Wood had to work hard. Anyway, trying to trap them in the end zone here. Brown, it goes up the line and received, and again up the line, but this time Luke's going to mop it up. Not cleanly, but it doesn't have to be clean. Pritchard to pick up in the front corner of the end zone. He's got Pickles square, goes for a scuba across the field to Luke Wood, which is a nice option. Luke Wood straight back to Pritchard, just a 1-2 all the way from one corner of the pitch to the exact opposite corner. No reason that shouldn't work. There was a moment there where it looked like there was going to be a bit of contested space that Pritchard was running into, but they've managed to clear out just in time. 6-5. And a timeout's been called. There are approximately 10 minutes left before the buzzer. And Brown 1 just putting their heads together here. They've got a little bit of work to do. They've got lots of stuff to tighten up. They have definitely had a lot of threatening options. It's no doubt that they've been here on the field and putting some threats in against deep dish discs. But they've turned over a lot. It hasn't looked as clean as yesterday. Deep dish discs have been able to cut through them at times. In fact, in the last couple of points, I think a lot of it has been due to deep dish discs turning over. That's given an opportunity for Brown to close the gap a little bit. They're not playing badly, but they'll want to tighten it up. Starting here with a men's point, and it will be KK to pull, joined by Fernley Everson, Josh Clark, Megan Pickles and Vic Cook. And there's KK's pull. It's good, right to the back of the end zone at the centre. And Brown putting a tight force on, but it goes out to Nick Byrne, who's allowed to have that under space because he has been a threat with the ISO position earlier today. And disc goes, flat quick disc goes to Nick Byrne again. And KK moving around at the front of the end zone there, looking for that shot. He certainly does threaten with that shot. It's a great effort. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't catch that quite. Shoddy camera work, but Megan Pickles, although she was there, she's millimeters away, and there was a bit of a bash of shoulders in the action, is not able to prevent her receiver getting the disc. Deep dish 7, Brown 1-5. Seven minutes left. Dan Renhard, Olateni, Luke Wood, Zoe Davis, KK. You probably want to get a hand up soon.
Oh my god. No, trust me. Like, I won't play hard.
KK to Zoe Davis. Zoe back to KK. Resets to Zoe. Or Zoe looks across the field to Luke, but instead ends up resetting to KK after considering some other options. KK sent it to Renhard. Renhard across the field to Luke Wood. And little IO backhand from KK finds Olateni with brilliant feet to bring it down as it's drifting down out the back of the end zone. Everyone went silent there, a little held breath as they were watching that come down, weren't sure which way it was going to go. Firstly, you had to use the position to fight off a good challenge from the deep dish disc defender, and then had to really carefully track it as it was coming down out of the back of the field. But that long stretch and not forgetting her toes there, bringing it down really nicely at the back of the end zone. Our own OT. Bring the score to 7-6. Pritchard's pull, joined by Clark, Megan Pickles, Sam Bruce and Vic Cook. right at the front of the end zone. Nick Byrne making moves downfield, marked closely by Josh Clark. Josh Clark goes in there, but isn't able to get a bid on that. Probably was a yard behind, maybe shouldn't have committed because he's let it go back up. But great effort nonetheless from Josh Clark. Nick Byrne looks for that quick one up the line, but Sam Bruce is able to get the right side of her man and stop that disc being completed for a turnover for the Brown. Dan Pritchard picks up. Brucey this time, escaping by inches the outstretched reach of both Sam Bruce and Meg Pickles in turn. There's just some laces going on here. Brown get away with a receiver error there. Dan Pritchard picks up, but Brown a little slow to get options on, so the timing advantage is lost. But the quick disc back to Dan Pritchard is just a bit too quick, and it's gone. Nick Byrne has gone. Dan Pritchard gets there though, no problem. Straight to Sam Bruce. Bruce bangs straight for the end zone for Josh Clark. And Josh Clark manages to zip around his man there. It looked like the defender was well placed and the disc maybe wasn't quite deep enough to prevent it. But actually, Josh Clark zipping around the right side just to receive and still keeping his toes in the end zone. Well done there for 7-all. It's not what I would say is 100% or super clean. But the Brown have put away the goals and they have brought it back to 7-all. And now the game really is on with 4 minutes remaining. Zoe Davis to pull, joined by Ola Tenney, Luke Wood, KK and Sam Bruce. Some Domino's delivery pizza people just arriving. Zoe's pull is just short and is bricked by Nick Byrne. Keep saying his name because he's the only name I actually know on that team. Nick straight away looks for the end zone, but Sam Bruce and Luke Wood are going to be there, and it was going out the back anyway. So Brown quite happy to turn that one over and give themselves another opportunity on offense, which would bring them for the first time, if they were to convert it, into the lead. KK to Zoe, some good under options going on there, but in the end Zoe's the one he picked. Zoe looks downfield in the end, puts it across to a nice cut from Luke Wood. Luke Wood considers the hammer. Now he wants an option under, but he has none. He has no options under, so it's going to be the high scuba on a fairly high stall count, and it's only the height of KK that puts in a challenge there, but there certainly was some body contact and a foul is called. Thoughts in the chat? Is that a foul? It's a contested foul. So obviously some differing opinions on the field, but it goes back to Luke Wood. The stall count is going to be very important here. In on 6, I think, is the call. So this is going to be an instant throw, which it is. That scuba again to KK, this time cleanly received. And KK to Ola Tenney up the line. And for the first time this game, the Brown are in the lead. The score 8 to the Brown, 7 to Deep Dish Discs. Brown picking up some extra sideline support here. But it's not all smiles on the sideline. Sam sitting this one out. It's been a bit of a tricky game for him so far. On the field though, Nick Byrne with an unforced turnover, and the Brown yet again given an opportunity to do something. Luke Wood in front of goal. Sensibly resets to Megan Pickles. His threat in the end zone, Dan Pritchard, was double marked. Fernley gives to Vic. The Brown just don't need to rush anymore, and I think they know it. That's not to say they should take all the time, but that's good. Luke Wood to Megan Pickles. Pickles back to Fernley in the middle. Fernley having a nice chat, just being nice to his man. Who knows why? He's found an excuse to be nice, and damn, he's going to take it. So Luke Wood now looking at the end zone, considers Dan Pritchard on the far side, considers Vic Cook on the near side. In the end, gives it to Megan Pickles with a safer cut up the line, but not into the end zone. Pickles has a look, She's going to give it long to Pritchard, but it wasn't the right choice. A safe reset is what was needed right there. And the Brown now have a minute to defend. About 35 seconds left, and we need 100% here from the Brown. Oh. What happened to the disc? Fernley, Luke. It's obviously a dangerous time of the game here. Very dangerous time of the game. Nick Byrne receives 6-7 yards in front of the end zone. Big force from Fernley, gives it high. Now it's going to be Dan Pritchard against. Yes, come on! Brilliant take from Dan Pritchard, getting it high, and squares it to Luke Wood. No need to rush. Fernley's poach. And the 1-2, Fernley back to Luke Wood, and Luke Wood now should just reset Fernley. There's no rush. There's no rush. It was a fairly safe throw, but just didn't quite come off for him. He threw it a little bit far ahead of Vic. And yet again, deep dish disc given an opportunity to do something in the dying seconds of this game. In fact, the buzzer should have gone 20 seconds ago. Has the buzzer gone? Don't know what's happened. I'm pretty sure the buzzer went exactly on 30 on time. And no, I think it was a goal. My opinion from here is he was in because he landed toes first.
End point and then plus one.
Is the call foul or not in?
I think Fernley has called a push.
Oh, okay. There's a foul call. Okay, I have no opinion on that. Yeah. Opinions on the push coming from the far side.
It doesn't matter how hard it is.
Yeah, even in this game, it does seem that there is form, possibly, but that doesn't change the fundamental question of was this one a foul. Interestingly, some non-Brown players, although people I know, called that he landed not in. That's interesting. Yeah, looked in from here, but very hard to tell for sure. Okay. They are certainly better placed, the people on the sideline who did offer their opinion. And there's a stall out called, which is not contested. Wow, deep breath for the Brown. Really tense times, and Fernley receives and straight up to Luke Wood. He's not in, but he does keep the disc. Luke Wood straight to Megan Pickles, who does catch it and bring it down for a goal, and that is 9-7. The buzzer must have gone 2.5 minutes ago. White. Paige, are they still 30-minute games? Has the buzzer gone and I haven't heard it? So it's been 32.5 minutes.
Was that what went to happen?
So I'm told that although there's no buzzer, there doesn't seem to be anyone at the TD desk. The timer expired during that point, which means that the game is now a game to 10. So, Dan! So, KK to pull here. The Brown need to keep their heads. They need to put away 1 point in the next 3. Next 4, actually, I suppose. And here they are trying to put that pressure on straight away. Little resets, they're keeping them in the end zone for the time being. KK is covering off that line option well. Nick Byrne in the end zone gives a short reset to Zoe's match in the end zone. Also keeping it short there, but Nick Byrne does manage to gain a couple of yards under on Dan Pritchard and receives the disc with a few yards, just getting away from her end zone. The hammer goes up. Can Zoe get there? She can. She doesn't quite reach the disc, but there was enough pressure on there to cause a fumble. Brown collectively short of breath. They've got 4 points to score and put this game away. KK gives out to Sam Bruce. Don't actually see any contact there, but I don't think there was. She fell over. That happens. Bruce paused though. Anyway, she gives it to Pritchard, who gives straight back to KK. It's going to be out the back though. Unfortunately, it is too long. It was a nice run from KK busting long, and probably quite a good idea, but just wasn't quite right on the throw. And deep dish discs back in possession. If you're enjoying this game, after this one at 11 o'clock will be Brown 2's first game of the day. Is that right?
I think that's what somebody else said.
Finish the point and plus one should be now.
No, they finished the point. So now it's getting to 10. If that's the rule, I'm sort of surprised it is. Yeah, fine. Yeah, so it is that then, yeah. Anyway, deep dish disc swinging here. Blackburn, who gives it high to Zoe. Her match very well towing the line there and bringing it down for a goal, and it is 9-8.
Last little push, let's go!
Brown need to bring it.
Cause chaos, let's go!
I won't go there, that next just
Luke Wood, Megan Pickles, Ola Tenney, Vic Cook, Fernley Everson to fight this one for the Brown. It is match point for the Brown. Score being 9-8, the game being first to 10. Vic Cook receives it on the line. She has a look across. In the end gives a little short hammer up the line to Luke Wood. Luke Wood, consider, but no, just stay cool. Yeah, right decision, Luke Wood. Resetting to Vic Cook, who gives it across to Fernley Everson. Meg Pickles makes a dangerous cut, but Fernley is going to reset instead. The Brown do need to score. This is not a question of time with this rule set. And in the end, it's as high scuba. And Ola Tenney for the third time today, bringing it down when she really needed to. Is there a call? It appears. I don't know if the person involved actually called it themselves or if someone else called it on them. Is there another call apart from goal on the field?
Discussion about whether or not to call them.
Well, that's not how that works.
They could be like, sorry, she's going.
Okay, fair enough.
Apologise.
Okay, there is a foul. Yeah, that's fine. Sure. Yeah, of course, that's fine. Oof. This is quite a tense ending to this game. Get you the opinion of the sideline over there with the scoreboard is that Sophie's half flipped up the 10 flag. But nonetheless, there's a discussion about a foul on here. Ola Tenney going high to receive the disc. There was some contact, but I have no idea, no opinion on whether it was a foul. Luke Atkirst quickly explaining his latest breakdancing moves there. Is anyone on the field willing to replicate them? Not sure. His last move though did end with a goal gesture. Okay, contested foul, which is the right decision. It was a long discussion, and ultimately, if you can't agree, that's got to go back as contested. Quite right. So, The disc is going to come in on 4, so we are halfway through, but luckily Meg's there for a quick reset. Oh, she gives it straight back to Burnley Everson, but he wasn't quite able to gather. It was a quick disc at short range, and Nick Byrne picks up for deep dish discs. Little 1-2 gives himself some space. He gives up the line, and now deep dish disc looking dangerous right in front of the end zone. If they score this, it goes to Universe. They do bring it down. And they reset deep dish disc, still dangerous in possession. The Brown has got away with one there when that just slipped through the fingers of the intended receiver in the end zone at short range. And this is a gut-wrenching game. Luke Wood to pick up, start with the disc, out the front of the end zone. Scuba reset to Fernley Everson. Looks the 1-2, but instead looks like Vic Cook is nice and free. Should give it back to Luke Wood. Good decision, yeah. And sure enough, it goes back. They're being allowed a little bit of that space. Deep dish discs seemingly keen to mark tightly up the field and stop the centre space, but not too bothered about letting them have it side to side at the back. And sure enough, here we go, back and forth. Oh, it goes to Fernley, who brings it down! Great run from Fernley, and the throw from Luke Wood, just managing to squeeze past the reach of the defender there. Oh, this has been a difficult game for the Brown. Difficult to play. They've certainly faced some, seriously toothy offense. There's no doubt about that, and it's been an evenly matched game, but difficult for the Brown because I think a frustrating game. There's just been a lot of sloppiness that they didn't have as much of yesterday. First game on a Sunday, symptoms maybe, but they were down 4-1 in the early game, and really looking very wobbly at the beginning. They managed to find something again, and deep dish discs also had some errors creep into their own game. But an absolutely nail-biting finish, as both sides not quite able to cleanly put it away for some time. Lots of turnovers, wouldn't describe it as a clean and sharp game of Ultimate. But you've got to win those. That's how you win stuff. Sometimes you have games where it's like that and you've got to put it away. And on this occasion, the Brown have managed to bring it through. Final score, Brown 1-10, deep dish discs 8. Thanks very much for watching. It's been a slightly longer and slightly more intense game than maybe foreseen for a 12-5. But I hope you enjoyed it. The next game in just a few minutes actually will be at 11 o'clock, so in 15 minutes will be Newcastle Brown 2. I'm not yet certain who we're playing, but I'll get a link for that up. Thank you very much. I'm going to stop the stream.